A few months ago, this film recently celebrated its 30th anniversary, and since I recently reviewed Die Hard 2, I thought, what the hell, let's tackle number 3 for y'all. Here's my review of Die Hard with a Vengeance. Yippee-ki-yay. I keep that in censored form in a way you couldn't possibly hear me say that bad word, could you? This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Dual, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1995 action flick Die Hard with a Vengeance, released by Fox, directed and produced by John McTiernan from a screenplay written by Jonathan Hensley, and starring Bruce Willis once again as John McClane. This is the third installment of the Die Hard film series. This also has Jeremy Irons and Samuel L. Jackson, plus Graham Greene, Colleen Camp, Larry Brigman, and Sam Phillips. This film was released on May 19th, 1995, so I'm just a little over a month overdue for the anniversary. This time around, John McClane is embroiled in a plot by a mysterious terrorist calling himself Simon, who extorts the city of New York by threatening to detonate several bombs unless McClane solves a series of games scattered across the city, and reluctantly partners with a shopkeeper and learns the terrorists plot to steal the gold bullion of the Federal Reserve of New York. Now, the film got mixed reviews, though, but still eventually did pretty well, becoming the highest grossing film of 1995. But of course, this film has received positive reevaluation over time and is now largely considered the best sequel in the franchise. Before I start the story, if you haven't seen my reviews of the first two Die Hard films, I would advise you to click on that card and it'll take you to the playlist I've now fixed up, in case you might have missed them or see them again if you'd like. Okay, let's begin. The Bonwit Taylor department store in New York City is blown up by a bomb during the morning commute. A man identifying himself as Simon telephones the New York Police Department and claims responsibility. Making demands in the form of a Simon Says game, he threatens to detonate another bomb unless Police Lieutenant John McClane is sent to Harlem wearing an intentionally provocative sandwich board with a racial slur written on the board. The NYPD comply and send McClane to Harlem, where he is confronted by an electrician and shop owner named Zeus Carver. McClane explains the situation before a group of gang members also confront McClane over his sign. Carver intervenes and saves McClane, and they escape in a taxi. They arrive at one police plaza, where Simon demands that the pair follow a timed challenge or he will set off more bombs. They agree, and McClane eventually boards the 3 train, heading towards the Wall Street station in order to defuse a bomb that Simon planted on it. Carver arrives at the station before McClane finds the bomb and throws it on the tracks just as it explodes. McClane and Carver regroup with the NYPD and meet some FBI and CIA agents who initially inform the pair that Simon is Peter Krieg, a mercenary and former colonel in the National People's Army. Excuse me. They then reveal that Krieg's real name is Simon Peter Gruber, the brother of Hans Gruber, whom McClane killed years earlier in LA, of course, the main antagonist of the first film. Simon then places another call to the NYPD, informing them that he has planted an explosive in one of the city's elementary schools, which is set to explode once class ends and can be triggered by the same radio frequencies utilized by law enforcement. Simon offers to give the authorities the school's location if McClane and Carver follow another time challenge, warning that he will detonate the explosive if any evacuation attempts are carried out. While the pair solve Simon's next challenge, the NYPD begin to search all elementary schools in the city. McClane realizes that Simon is attempting to distract the NYPD away from Wall Street. which has no schools, and travels to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York building. He discovers that Simon's men have stolen $140 billion of gold bullion from its vault using dump trucks. He follows the trucks into the under construction New York City water tunnel number 3 while Carver continues Simon's challenges. Simon blows up a cofferdam to flood the tunnel, but McClane escapes and reunites with Carver. Surviving a car chase with Simon's men, the pair find all the men were carrying exactly enough money to pay a bridge toll. The pair sneak aboard a tanker docked in the Long Island Sound, but Simon's associates captured him and tied him up to another bomb. Simon explains that his school threat was fake and broadcasts a message claiming that he is planning on destroying the tanker filled with the bullion to destabilize the Western world's economy. After he leaves, Carver and McClane free themselves and escape the tanker just before the bomb detonates. As McClane and Carver are debriefed by the NYPD, McClane informs them that none of the bullion Simon's men stole was in the tanker's cargo hold, having deduced that Simon had intended to keep all of it for himself, using his knowledge of the Gruber family's modus operandi. Alright, now for the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box right now and fast forward to the time below as I count down right now. If you've seen this movie already, please continue once the 5 seconds are over with. Okay, you've been warned. While attempting to place a call to his estranged wife Holly, McClane glances at a ball of aspirin given to him by Simon on board the tanker and notices that it was purchased at a truck stop in Quebec on the Canada-US border. McClane informs the NYPD of his discovery and joins them and Carver as they rush towards a warehouse near the truck stop where Simon and his men are redistributing the bullion and planning their escape. The rest of Simon's men are quickly apprehended by law enforcement personnel, though Simon and his girlfriend Katya attempt to escape in a helicopter, attacking McClane. McClane shoots an overhead power line which falls onto the helicopter, causing it to crash and explode, killing Simon and Katya. While they are celebrating their triumph, Carver persuades McClane to place another call to Holly. End of story. So, what did I think of Die Hard Way of Vengeance? Well, after watching it, I have to say this film is pretty good, actually. I feel like it's pretty underrated, though, but I give this film credit for what it had to offer and what have you. It was just so incredible. Anyway, now this is the first film in the series not to be produced by Joel Silver and Lawrence Gorin after both producers had fallout with Willis, instead being produced by Synergy Pictures, which is Andrew Vagina's company, of course, guy who worked on the Terminator and the Rambo films. Nevertheless, this film proved to be a pretty cool film and really proved to be a good one. This film was a big one. It became the highest grossing film of 1995, spending over a month on top at the box office. Though its reviews are mixed, on Rotten Tomatoes it's barely hanging out by a thread in the fresh status at 60%, saying the film gets off to a fast start and benefits from Bruce Willis and Samuel Jackson's barbed interplay, but clatters to a bombastic finish in a vain effort to cover for an overall lack of fresh ideas. Metacritic has a score of 58, and Audience's Public Cinema score gave us an A-. Well, that's understandable in my view. The Chicago Sun-Times' own Roger Ebert praised the action sequences and the performances of Willis, Jackson, and Jeremy Irons, concluding the film is basically a wind-up action toy cleverly made and delivered with high energy. It delivers just what it advertises with a vengeance. Unfortunately, Owen Gleiberman dissed the film, saying that while McTiernan stages individual sequences with great finesse, they don't add up to a taut, dread-ridden whole. Well, I can understand, but I still thought it was good. Well, apparently the Washington Post thought that the best thing about the movie is the relationship between McClane and Zeus. And, well, I mean Zeus, excuse me. Saying that Jackson was almost as good as he was in Pulp Fiction. For Variety, they wrote the film, one of their reviewers wrote, this was the least accomplished of the franchise. Even a subpar adventure won't kill this series, as the Pig's built in audience will make it a major summer attraction, if perhaps one lacking quite the stamina of the first two movies. Empire, however, was a little impressive. While it's better than the last film, but not as good as the Peerless original. Though it's breathless fun, the film runs out of steam in the last act, and Jeremy Irons' villain isn't fit to tie Alan Rickman's shoelaces. I completely understandable. In the Crime Time film book, which archives various UK film reviews, the film was given a perfect 5-star review, citing it as simply the best action film of the decade, leaving imitators like Bad Boys, Executive Decision, The Rock, and Chain Reaction in varying depths of shadow. Retrospective rankings have called the film the best sequel in the franchise. Empire considered to be one of the 50 greatest film sequels in 2009. Screen Rant regarded it as the best sequel of the franchise, and Movie Web considered it a step up from the previous film and praised Willis and Jackson's chemistry and the action scenes. I agree. I have to give both Bruce Willis as John McClane and Samuel L. Jackson as Zeus Carver. They were absolutely good and what have you. I have to give them credit for what they had to offer throughout the film. I think they proved to have what it takes to make it big. The score was once again composed by Michael Kamen, who helmed the previous films. But anyway, he still does a good job. Upon its release, the film went on to make 366 million worldwide on its $9 million budget. And so eventually it doing even better than the previous film. Well, and it ended up being the most successful until it was surpassed by the fourth film, which came out 12 years later in Live Free or Die Hard, which will be coming up real soon. Aside from Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, Jeremy Irons as Simon Peter Gruber, I gotta say, he does a good job as a villain in this. I mean, after he recently voiced Scar in Disney's animated classic The Lion King the previous year. Now, of course, this would be the second time a Fox film released during the 90s had a little bit of a bomb threat type feel involved in it after the previous year's Speed. Now, for the rest of the cast, we have Graham Greene as Detective Joe Lambert, Colleen Camp as Detective Kai Kowalski, and let's see, Larry Brigman as Inspector Walter Cobb, and Anthony Peck as Detective Ricky Walsh. I think they were all absolutely really good in their performances. And there's lots of others and what have you, so I gotta give the whole cast credit, plus other supporting cast members. I think they were absolutely really good, so anyway, with everything said, I think Die Hard with Vengeance is worth looking into. So would I recommend it? I would say yes. Sure, go ahead. I think I'll give it a draw between hell yeah and sure go ahead. I mean, you be the judge and think, is this really good or is it just a mixed bag? Or, well, again, you be the judge. But I really thought the film was absolutely good and what have you. Now, of course, actually, I was right about Synergy Productions. They actually released the film internationally, while Fox released it in the US, Canada, and Japan. So, anyway, I think this is a very good film in the Die Hard franchise. I know I haven't revisited the franchise lately, but I will say that I did enjoy this film for what it had to offer. So that's three down, two to go. Now, I will review Live Free or Die Hard later, a little bit and what have you this month. But as for the last film, A Good Day to Die Hard, sorry, not, that's not on my schedule. And I'm afraid that's going to be on hold for now. Mm. All right, so what did you think of Die Hard with a Vengeance? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel and what have you. And you know the rest. You do what you can and help out and what have you. I know the Die Hard 2 review got some plenty of good views. Thank you. Anyway, and next time I'll be reviewing another Fox film, and that'll be Predators. So if you like this, consider checking out my reviews for some of these other films. In the upper left-hand corner, check out my review of a film that Samuel L. Jackson did just a year prior before this. Check out my review of Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction in the upper left-hand corner, or go to the upper right-hand corner and check out my review of Speed, also from '94. Now, of course, Bruce Willis was also in Pulp Fiction. Or if you'd like something else, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of a film Jonathan Hensley, who wrote the screenplay for this, something he would direct years later, and that's The Punisher from 2004. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.